Hi, everybody. It's good to see you. I hope things are well. Won't you pull you up a chair and set a spell while we sit and talk about Leah Smock, an Appalachian witch of Battleton, Kentucky? Leah, while her parents and her siblings were away visiting family members, was accused of being a witch, was tied up, dragged into the smokehouse on the family farm, and it was set on fire. People in that day was scared of anything strange and called it witchcraft. Leah Smock was born in 1818. Leah's parents, Margaret and John, Leah and the children moved to Battleton in 1838 after her father purchased a farm and began making barrels. Leah's birthday and where they came from is not known. Leah was the oldest of 3 children, and she had dark hair and eyes to match. She often helped her father make those barrels. While in Battleton, in her free time, Leah learned a good many skills, such as how to heal the sick with just simple herbs. Leah was smart and gifted, and was told to even tell the future. She often walked the woods with a walking stick that her Cherokee friend Jim made her. It had a snake carved right on the top. She learned a lot from Jim's people. People began to talk about her. Rumors spread about her being a witch. She would often warn farmers that cows would die drinking water from a pond that poisonous roots touched. Well, those farmers didn't pay her any mind, and the cattle began to die, and of course they blamed her. Also, she was told not to touch anyone's animals. Well, she petted a horse, and it was caught. And strangely enough, that old horse died the very next day. And of course again, she was blamed, but it was known to drink from that tainted pond. A few short days later, she asked to hold a little baby and was told absolutely not. Well, in another twist of fate and coincidence, that baby died that very night. She was also blamed again. Well, August 21st, 1840, John and Margaret and the little children left to visit Staples, a nearby town, to visit family. Leah stayed behind. That very day, her neighbors tied her up, put her in the smokehouse, locked her in, and set it ablaze. As the building burned, it's rumored that Margaret returned home, and being helpless, all she could do was watch. It tore the family in two, knowing that they lost their precious Leah. The day after her death, sightings of Leah's spirit began to happen. She appeared over the burnt ashes of the smokehouse. Margaret saw her and called to her asking why she didn't use her powers to stop it. Leah didn't answer. It's legend that only the guilty would see her spirit over the side of the smokehouse, but as suddenly as it began, it stopped appearing, but only for a few short weeks. Leah's body was inside the burnt remains of the smokehouse for a few days while the fire slowly went out. They placed her body in a casket, and a wagon carried her to the area of the Smock property where John set aside for the burial. The church cemetery wouldn't allow her to be buried there, and today, Leah's burial site is called Betsy Daly Cemetery. It is told that Leah was seen in her white burial gown with her hands tied behind her back with a long black tie. It is told that 2 hunters from the group saw her in the yard where she was buried. It is not told what they saw, but it scared them so bad. Determined to never see her again, they bought 2 full wagon loads of pure white sandstone to cover the grave. It is old legend. It was old told legend that said this would keep the spirit from rising out of the grave. And today, she's often seen late at night in her white burial gown and her hands tied behind her back. Folks, do you believe little Leah was a witch or just a victim of circumstance? It's such tragedy and shame that she died at the age of 22 at the hands of neighbors that were scared just because she could heal the sick with simple herbs and was smart enough to see that poisonous plants were creeping into a pond. I want to thank you for sitting and listening to the tale of Leah Smock. We appreciate you listening. We love you to pieces, and we'll see you next time.